there.
Yeah, and so there's like a receding thing here, so it kind of lets you see that you've got.
So you got overlap.
You got some overlap.
Yeah.
But the laser's narrower than the other cameras, but that's reasonable for the laser.
That is so cool. Science, guys.
Yeah, I can't take credit for most of this. Chris, my student, coded all this stuff up. So.
And Chris, this is all. Where does this information and data go once we're done with it? Does it go to some public database for other scientists to use as well?
So this will go. We'll try and put these images in the general Nautilus archive so people can do it, and then when the final data products will get passed off, if someone's going to do a publication or whatnot, they can have the final data products processed. But that's that can be out a reasonable amount of time just based on the processing time it takes to do all this.
Yeah, I bet.
So
yeah, and what's the size or format of the 3D data in particular?
So we'll make just regular old TIFF images and things that you can pretty easily see.
Sure.
And then we'll be also doing some 3D models, and they'll just be a standard PLY file that a lot of like 3D point cloud viewers that are free and publicly available can read.
Cool.
Would the pH be different here compared to when we first did this dive?
The pH?
Yeah, because there's a lot more life right here, shrimps and everything.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, the pH here is probably different than over where
Okay.
we were near the base of the intercone. That was more pocketed and
Right.
less constricted.
Because there's
so
shrimps and fish
it's
and
probably
crabs.
been, yeah, exactly. So that's probably fairly acidic over there.
Okay.
If we had a pH meter, we could probably tell.
Okay.
That'd be something to bring on the way back.
Yeah.
But typically pH is a pain in the neck to measure in situ.
Right.
It's like the meters are terrible. They drift all over. So typically people take water samples, and then in the lab,
Then they look at it. Okay.
we'll calculate alkalinity or something.
So that's probably why there's requests for water samples
Yeah,
right
'cause
near that.
you can do better stuff
Okay.
later in the lab. In situ pH sensors
Okay.
are problematic.
So we are diving once again at Vailulu Seamount, but we're on, this time around, the new East Rim site. So, Georgia, do you know about what the distance is from Tutuila to here, maybe?
Over here to the
Or Chris, yeah.
60 miles.
60 miles
Maybe.
or so?
Yeah, it's a fair way.
Yeah, and then we just came from Rose Atoll yesterday, which...
Yes. So they're all along the same ridgeline. But this is the only active seamount in the territory.
So it's very, very exciting to be here. And different too. It's quite different from a lot of the other dive sites we've had so far.
Okay, in the line.
And it was it was renamed as Vailulu in 2002 by some Samoan high school students.
Is it what is Vailulu? I forget. I read it, I believe, but I don't remember.
I haven't got access to the computer, but it basically is the sacred
Just
rain
banging
that
them out,
falls
Oh, right,
on the
right.
last time of the King of Samoa.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
Vai
25
in
and a half.
Samoan is water.
Yeah, just keep doing
go.
it. Just do it.
And
Doing
then
it.
You don't have to ask. Just
in
keep banging them out.
2002, Samoan high school students chose this name. And then the name of the
Nafanua?
actual, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a Samoan war goddess.
Did I say that right? Nafanua?
I mean, you're asking the wrong person. My Samoan is not great.
Yeah.
But it sounds good, so.
Very cool. Yep. Vailulu refers to a sacred rain that supposedly fell with every gathering of the last king of Samoa.
Oh, that's what's wrong with it.
Very fitting name for the only active seamount in the territory.
Got some left-right issues with the camera.
Left-right issues?
I'm using an old calibration for the laser stuff that's on that sat thing, and then it was baffling me what was going on, but it's just a reciprocal, so now I figured it out. So now we're good. Oh, but I do want to do this.
Robert, anything else you think we can try while we're in water, or just want to wait till we're back on deck and troubleshoot?
There's nothing more I could do
Okay,
than that.
fair enough.
So, I mean, we could try cleaning it. You hooked it back up and it's the same?
Yeah. Wish that shark would come back down and spend some more quality time with us.
I know.
What a tail, huh?
That was
Yeah,
cool.
it was beautiful. So beautiful.
So there's a lot of bubbles flopping around in here. Random bubbles. There goes one.
Yep. There was a big one earlier.
Yeah, I saw that. So we know what sediment smells like down here, right? It's kind of sulfuric and stinky.
I don't know if we know this sediment, but that's typical at event site.
Kind of rotten eggy.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good description.
Do we know what it tastes like? Has anyone tried it?
Like poison?
Oh, yeah.
Would it not be a good thing to taste?
Yeah.
like maybe
Sooner
don't,
is shaking her head back here.
maybe don't put it on your bagel.
Yeah.
Like a match head.
Who's
you
writing
hungry
that in?
That was actually a question that came in. That was
Oh,
not my
yeah.
Somebody wants us dead.
I'll stick to looking and smelling it, maybe not tasting it. But to answer your question, Tuna, yes, I'm always hungry.
Now you're going to eat the sediment.
Actually, I am too.
Are you? It's just an
Yeah, I'm
indefinite
always.
yeah,
Okay.
state of being.
One more.
Yeah, keep going. We're going to do like 30 of these, so just keep.
30. Holy cow. Pull my
Nah,
screen out.
yeah, not reaching that far.
Get comfortable.
30? Why did you do 30?
Well, we're
Make sure
mowing
you
the
get.
lawn. Yeah, so
Oh.
I mean, we could probably up the spacing to 1.25 meters based on the
You want to
overlap.
do that?
Yeah, sure, because that'll help speed things up a little bit. We got a lot of overlap.
Are we doing 30 more meters or 30 more surveys? Or
Well, so
transects?
we're just zinging it. We're going to go back forth. So we got to pass the vent, then we got to get to the pagodas. It'll take a little bit to get over there.
Cool.
How many events have you come across, Chris?
Like today.
No, I mean, no.
Or in your life?
In your life.
I don't know. Yeah, I've been to lots of vent sites, I guess.
All right, here we go.
Yep, do it.
This is my first one.
This
Oh,
is my
there you
first one too.
I've been to a lot of vents, but I've not seen bubbles like this one has.
Yeah, this looks like almost identical to Kickum Jenny. Same.
Really?
Yeah. Same
Well, we're
thing.
pretty shallow, so
Yeah.
you get bigger
So you get pretty
bubbles.
bigger, vigorous
Yeah,
bubbling.
yeah, I guess
Kickum
that's
Jenny's
true.
shallow, has the same little iron oxide chimneys.
I saw
has
that
the same-
picture. That's the one. Was that the picture that you said to go and look at down on the
okay,
was it-
that is Kickum Jenny. That's a different,
different?
spot at Kickum
Yeah,
Jenny.
I went down and looked at that.
Yeah, that's the
I'd walked past it so many times and hadn't.
yeah, that's the
looked at it.
landslide compression methane seep.
Okay.
But there is an active. It looks identical to this
Yeah.
practically in the bottom of Kickum Jenny.
And I remember the word you taught me, pelagonite, and I've used that every day since.
Ooh,
Really?
do tell. What is that?
It's hard to
Plagonite?
slip in the
Plagamite?
conversation.
I found a way to slip that in every day. Like maybe we'll find some pelagonites
What
today.
is it? What is it?
It's the. Oh,
Now you're-
okay.
now you're in
I'm gonna look at
trouble.
Chris. Tell everyone what it is.
Well, we're not seeing any of that here. It's the sort of crusty bit that's on the edge of a pillow of salt.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
Has the sort of glassy chemical composition of the,
Yeah.
which is what you're after if you want to do chemistry from lava flows.
So I challenge everyone to use the word
Ooh.
pelagonite
But
every
that's
day.
not here. So that's
At least once a day.
This is
It was the other side of there
yeah.
when we first got in.
So
But I
that's where
remembered it.
we see basalt typically. Basalt melt.
Yeah, so it's the first quenching bit. So as soon as here's the vent coming up, we're about to get barbecued. So actually, this is where we got to pay attention to see if the Doppler knuckleballs all over the place.
Knuckleballs. Like that.
Yeah, earlier at Gorda Ridge, we were doing surveys with some diffuse flow everywhere, and Chris was running the stuff, and he was just having fits because everywhere they went, the the hot water just totally hosed the Doppler, and then it was really
Yikes.
difficult to constrain the navigation. Okay, it's off to the left.
Maybe
there.
we're going to be lucky and step on
The other side.
on
of it.
either side of it.
Yeah, I'm
right?
thinking we might want to do a little bigger space, 1.5 meters or something.
So this is that main vent we've come across already?
Yeah.
And a
But
eel
the-
like
That
thing?
fish.
Yeah.
It's a hot fish.
Hot fish.
The barbecued fish soon.
Well, the temperature drops off really rapidly
Yeah.
as you get away from where it's coming out of the ground. Like it's probably, only a few degrees if you get up
Yeah.
a meter above it.
Yeah, if you look at the temp probe, as we fly over here, you might not even see it. It'll just do a little bit of a... Actually, this is the temp probe.
I didn't really see it change.
I was looking at the van computer temperature. That's definitely not going to change.
No, it's consistently cold.
uh,
Oh yeah, there was a change.
But not much.
not much, a degree.
It went up to 7 from 6.
Yeah, not much of a
Toasty.
change.
Oh,
bigger-
there's an eel.
Yeah. All right. So go, let's see here. Try 1.5 meters.
All right.
Just to try and get around this thing a little bit.
I think still you will be on top of it within
Yeah.
1.5 meters.
Okay, just
Two
go
fish.
for it. That was reasonable.
One fish, two fish. Or eels.
Okay, here we go.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine.
Are we able to guesstimate how long these sulfite stacks have been here? Are they all relatively new based on our knowledge, or
Somebody.
These things come and go pretty rapidly, though.
Yeah,
It
in
moves
this-
around.
type of environment?
Somebody who's not me might be able to do that. Who's really studies these things.
Yeah.
But it's not like this site's been here for thousands of years.
Yeah, no, this could be tens of years old.
And Vailulu
Looks like
Seam
we're going
on
to
it.
go right over the
Yeah,
top of
we're
it.
gonna get barbecued here.
itself was only first discovered in 1975.
Correct.
Yeah, so. And it was, ooh, is this the main one or is this a
This
different
is the
one?
main one.
Okay. I got so
But,
excited for a minute.
Yeah,
It's
so you
pretty
might want
concentrated, so it might not
Yeah.
get too big a blip in the Doppler.
So
a
the
little,
problem.
little wiggle.
Oh, we'll see. So the Doppler is this instrument on the back that's shooting sound at the bottom, and it uses the Doppler effect to figure out how fast the instrument is moving relative to the bottom.
Oh.
And that's how the control system on Hercules works. And so in that calculation, you need to know the speed of sound, and the speed of sound is a function of temperature. And so if you go through a
Went
temperature,
up a lot on that one.
if you go through a temperature anomaly and the calculations don't know it, it throws off your velocity estimate, and then the vehicle can start knuckleballing around.
But that's such a concentrated little spot that's
So
probably
it's gonna
just
come
not
around.
inconsequential.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. I
Didn't
think
see anything.
we're just going over it right now on the back of the vehicle. But you see the camera
So
images are all
cool.
blurred
It's so
because
cool.
of it. Yeah, but the site
So
there.
is 1.5 good, or do you want to go back to 1.25?
Try try 1.5, and let me take a look more closely in the cameras. Look at the. Yeah, this place they were working earlier in the year, it was just hot water everywhere, so the
Wow.
Doppler was just cranky about that, and it just didn't.
So it's measured in beams. Is that what it comes up
Well,
with?
so it's a device that's got 4 beams
Okay.
that stick out, and it's shooting 4 times, and
Okay.
on each beam it measures a relative velocity. So to back out the 3 velocities you have, up, down, left, right,
Right.
side to side, you need 4 beams. So basically you have to solve for a 3-variable equation.
Oh my goodness.
And so with a 4th beam, you get a little bit of an error statistic. And so, because each beam is only measuring the velocity along that beam. So you have to take a velocity in this direction, and this one, and this one, and this one, and do the vector math to say, okay, on average, I'm going like that.
Okay.
Like you're approaching with this beam, this one's getting longer, this one's getting shorter, so to speak, if I'm moving around, right?
Right.
And so if one of these gets all messed up because it's shooting through the hot water,
Right,
it
right.
bollocks up the calculation, and then it's like, oh, hey, I'm going over here. And then the control system's like, okay, whatever.
Okay, 1.5.
You know, and it'll drive you off. And
Okay, not ideal.
No, not a great.
Okay.
And what's causing this murkiness that we're looking through? Is it gases being released, or is it a combination of the material and gases?
Okay, step
All right,
it
yeah,
back.
do it. Yeah, that looked okay. Mostly it's bacteria, probably. It's you got a combination of marine snow coming down from above, and then you have bacteria chomping on the stuff that's in the water percolating out of the seafloor, and that stuff tends to be very flocky and light, and so it's sort of drifting off.
Flocky, that's another good word.
And kind of, is that a real word?
It is now.
Flocculent.
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 Flocky.
I'm abusing.
You're so trendy. You're coming up with
We're
new.
learning Chrisish here.
Yeah, we need a whole Twitter thread of Chrisisms.
Flocky. Let's shimmy.
Shimmy.
What's the other one you keep using? Knuckle bowling?
Well, that's a thing.
That's a thing? Okay.
Okay, we also
It's an
have,
American baseball thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I don't know it.
yeah,
There
you
we
don't
go.
know that. We have,
Okay.
what do we have? Candle holder sponge?
Can't hold a sponge.
He's just making up names for species he doesn't know.
You say anything with confidence, right?
It's true.
Isn't that what everybody does?
I mean, somebody did that at one point or another, right?
Yeah.
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm an oceanographer. It says so on my business card. So yeah. But yeah, knuckleball. It's a pitch in baseball with no spin on it, and so it tends to like randomly.
Okay, this all makes more
waddle
sense
around.
now.
There's
Like
only a few.
knucklebowling?
I don't know much about baseball, but I know there's a few good knuckleball pitchers out there. It's
Okay.
a very difficult pitch to throw. Because
All
if you
right.
throw it wrong, it goes like a straight line, and then it gets whacked to
Oh.
Kingdom Come by the batter. Because it's a super easy pitch to hit if it doesn't knuckle.
Oh.
Yeah, you have it, the ball, like you bend your middle finger and ring finger. And
Right.
then you kind of like flick it
Like,
rather than a
if you-
traditional throw.
You don't, because you typically throw it, the ball has a spin, it has a consistent arc. When you throw a
Huh.
knuckleball, it wanders around, and it's just like random
Does it
behavior.
spin?
No spin. You want 0 spin on a knuckleball.
So it
It's
just
the
kind of
ball's
like,
just translating through the air, which then the pressure variations make the ball just kind of dance around.
Did you know what knucklebowling was, Suna?
Of course not, no.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I don't have those in Turkey.
There's 2 of us in here that didn't.
That's about all I know about baseball, to be honest.
That's all I know now, too, about baseball.
Yeah.
There we go. We learned something today, Suna.
Woo.
What was the word?
Knucklebowling.
No, the other one.
Oh, flocky?
No.
Shimmy?
The material.
Oh, pelagonite.
Pelagonite.
I tell you, my vocab increases every time I come in this van.
I was just thinking, I feel like I'm in school every time. I'm learning so much. Like school in a good way.
All right, now we're getting into the big old
Chimney
thing.
land.
Chimney land over there. All right, Bob. Yeah.
Okay. Step it over.
He wants one of these chimney tops.
He wants one? They look like they're going to be pretty hard to
They're going to be pretty
crumbly.
crumbly.
Not quite cigarette ash, but
Right,
they're going to
something
be pretty
yeah,
crumbly.
a cobbler topping. All right. Yeah,
Ready?
go for it. Yeah, do it.
Those bubbles that we've seen, are they methane bubbles or another gas?
CO2.
CO2.
Yeah, these would be mostly CO2. In a volcanic system, it's CO2 and some other sort of sulfury type gases.
Hydrogen sulfide.
Yeah.
Methane would
To get
be,
methane, you need squished dead stuff.
it's like permafrost.
It's delicious.
Yeah, you need
should
some
try it.
decaying process in the absence of oxygen.
So here there's not necessarily anything that's
No,
decaying.
no, exactly. It's not really.
I'm not sure you're going to get anywhere with the permafrost reference.
Permafrost?
No.
Actually, that's permafrost is a big deal.
It
Actually,
is, yeah.
climate and methane, because
It's one of the larger contributors to methane release in the atmosphere.
well, currently it's a cap over
Yeah,
a
how come
massive
6 is
supply
like
of reservoir.
so-
Of
That's
methane.
the 4K camera.
Yeah, why is it so goofy up there?
Big deal
It's
in
goofy
Arctic
everywhere.
nations and
I don't have a signal from it.
communities.
Oh, you're not looking at there?
Nope, I can't.
Oh, it's not working
So-
at all.
No.
It was just intermittent before, right?
Nope. It's been like this the whole time.
Oh,
Every
Okay.
once in a while, it's stable enough to see.
okay. Well, do we have to leave that up there? Because it's pretty distracting.
No, we could put something else up there.
Like just color bars?
Are we able to show the GPS breadcrumb trail of the ROV route, or is that something that...
Which one? The
Yeah,
nav
what do you want to
screen?
see?
And now bubble cam's starting to...
Yeah, maybe nav screen? Whatever shows that trail that we've made
Nav's
with
got 3 screens.
That's ROV nav.
ROV nav.
That has the green breadcrumbs, blue
Let
dots.
me see, I got PC2 maybe.
We have a request to
It's mowing along.
pop that up
PC
really
What's
quickly.
happening with bubble cam though? It's blipping.
No, that's the flash.
Oh,
PC1
right.
is going to be ROV nav. This is going to be fairly underwhelming, I think. And you want that on SAT3?
Maybe just for a quick peek. We just had a request.
There you go.
So what are we looking at here?
Scribbles.
Yeah, so those green lines are our trail?
Scribbles.
Yep.
Right. You get a lot of
A little discombobulating.
You're expecting like an Etch-a-Sketch grid?
Yeah, like the full...
Like exactly what we
Gets you
had gone.
exactly where
Well,
we've
it
been.
is
and-
pretty etchy sketchy.
It is, yeah.
You just get rid of the... There's all the old stuff from when we were bopping around in
Yeah,
there too.
it's
so-
like our last hour of where we
is
were.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we looking at? The green line is the trail, and
I'm not looking at it.
There's
2 vehicles and a boat in there.
oh, sure.
but all the dots are both the USBL and the Doppler trails, the kind of continuous green. So there's like a turquoise color
Yeah.
and then the green. So the green's the Doppler track.
Right. So Bob, go 1 1/4 now.
1 1/4 right.
The see how that goes.
You can
Yeah.
punch it up full screen over there as PC1. P01, Maddie.
P01.
PC1.
PC1. Oh, cool.
It's a little bit easier.
Yeah, I was like squinting at manual zoom here.
So when are we going to get into Pagodaville? When's that?
Pretty
Coming?
soon,
I
right?
would hope soon.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, here's stepping out.
Pagodaville.
Yeah,
Is that the official name?
should.
Sure. Cool. Thank you for
We
putting
could all
that up.
flocky to Pagodaville.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Time is it? It's almost lunchtime. Isn't it?
The coolest thing.
Suna's hungry. No.
Oh, I'm so hungry too. I feel ya. The coolest thing seen so far, I would say this might be one of the cooler things I've seen on my watch for sure. That mystery shark last night was pretty amazing as well.
Yep.
And the night, was it the night before? The day before?
They all blend.
Yeah. On another watch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, those sharks were really cool. That thresher shark was also really interesting on
Days today.
the descent here.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I always wanted to see one. And everyone always said they were here, but
We were
now we have proof.
we were at 350 meters when.
Is it a Saturday today?
That's a great question. It is Saturday?
Yes.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know why that
Tomorrow's
matters.
Sunday.
Tomorrow
Well,
is
that matters
Sunday.
back home.
Is that-
Chris,
That's how
aren't
it
you
works.
friends with Jim Newman?
Yeah, I've known
Tomorrow
Jim for a
maybe
long
See,
time.
Sunday.
I think he's out on the water
It is
on
Sunday
a Sunday
tomorrow.
evening at 6:30.
Sunday follows
Yeah,
Saturday.
But
That's
we're
when thresher sharks
going
go out,
forward in
yeah.
time, right? Tomorrow.
It is ice cream tomorrow. Except we missed that because
Yeah,
it then
there's no
turns into
Sunday.
Monday.
Maybe we can get ice
No
cream right
Sunday.
before it turns into Monday.
Breakfast ice cream?
Yes.
You get no
Until we cross
Sunday.
that date line, it's Sunday, so.
free.
If anyone is listening downstairs,
Yeah.
let's make this a priority.
Yeah, tomorrow's Monday, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll wake up and it'll be Monday. Oh,
Skip
that's
a
so
day
weird.
like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
Except
had
I fly back here, so I pick back up on Monday. It's
Yeah.
weird.
I had 2 Sundays when I came in. Sunday
Georgia-
in Samoan, Sunday in American Samoan.
We
Georgia
got
was
Did you
telling
have
me a lot
ice
of
cream
people
on
do
both
double
Sundays?
birthdays.
Double birthdays or double New
I had
Year's is pretty popular.
2 ice creams on my second Sunday.
So you made up for it.
yeah, double New Year's. I'm in on that.
Yeah, very popular.
If you do a double birthday, do you get 2 years added though? That's a good question.
No, whatever.
Oh.
I
You
know.
probably
Might not be worth it.
could you skip your birthday?
Or yeah.
Yeah,
that's
people-
That's a better question.
Yeah, people have skipped birthdays, yeah, as soon as you leave. So if anyone on the ship has a birthday on Sunday, too bad.
Oh,
It's
hold on, I have one coming
Or-
up.
It's like a leap
Good
year.
on you. You don't get a year older.
Yeah,
True.
maybe I'll get to skip one. Where's the calendar?
Sounds like coming back here every year is the way to go.
Yeah.
My birthday's in a week from Tuesday.
Are we getting tugged or something?
I think there's some swell. Maybe. So if you watch this.
I don't know.
I think we're just going over this lumpiness.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like
that's it's just
lots of-
freaking it up around a little bit. Yeah, like that's not. Wow. Oh, I think I got some upside downness in this thing too.
Alright. Stepping over.
Those are those chimneys.
Oh,
Yes.
you're upside down.
Yeah, so I got a sign problem somewhere. But that's right.
Oh, that's so cool though. Look how.
But you can see them, yeah. So, that's what it actually look like.
We're gonna clear this thing.
Yeah.
Looks like the moon or something. It's so bizarre.
Alyssa, you want to trade positions for a little bit? You can
Alright.
not do video, and I'll not do Argus.
I mean, if you want to do each other's got doing, sure.
Okay, it's all yours then, and I've got this covered, at least until it's time to do something.
Are we gonna run into this thing?
Could we put the mapping back in, please?
Well, we can
Inside.
Yeah.
Cool.
Should we go?
give it a go, see what happens. Give it
You
a
were
go.
right. It was a little underwhelming.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
Those images
Going
are
down.
pretty cool. Whoa.
Going way down.
This is so cool.
Alright, we might not want to
We
come.
did it.
Yeah.
Phew.
Trust in that control system.
Nap of the earth flying. Nap of the ocean, I guess.
So how far did we go? Okay, so we might not want to go back as far on the next one. Where are these
You don't want to
pagodas?
fly over the chimneys there?
Well, So where are these pagodas?
I think they're just to the left. But and ahead. I mean, we'll
Right.
get to them. We'll get to them when we get to them.
Like over there in that stripy bit?
Yeah, because it's where the veins.
Yeah, the
are.
veins, that's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for. Must be off to the left. Yeah, it's looking a little veiny over there to the
All right,
left.
the deal's off if you're going to start doing stuff.
That must be it.
I'm going to throw that question back to everybody listening. What's the coolest thing you've seen on this expedition so far? This leg in American Samoa. I'm curious.
I like this vent.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is maybe one of my very
Sort of
favorites.
hydrothermal vents, and I've
Is
never
that whole
worked them
thing
this
is
shallow.
active there? That's that
Yeah.
whole little spot in front of us is flowing actively. It's a low temperature
I'm
vent
still
there.
sticking with the shallow dive.
Those green and purple fish are cool. I forget the name
Yeah.
of them.
Let's see here.
Oh, bubbles.
Yeah. There's a little splotch on the bottom here that had a low flow vent. Seeing if we see it in the laser data.
Our sonar can pick up on big bubbles, right? We can
Yeah,
see
it's
them.
not great at it though.
Yeah. Does it ever confound results or have any sort of negative impact? Or it's just small enough that it doesn't really matter?
The sonar?
Any sort of like bubbles that are picked up by the sonar.
So the problem with this sonar is it's a scanning sonar,
Uh-huh.
and the bubbles are sort of intermittent.
Sure.
So, like, oftentimes you'll scan by when it's not bubbling, so you'll miss
Oh.
them.
Yeah.
So it's better to have a phased array sonar that's looking all the time.
So we want to be picking up on these bubbles in our sonar and maps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when you do pick them up, though, they're kind of transitory and iterant, so you
Oh.
go right to where they were and there's nothing there.
Right.
Yeah.
Now they're behind you. But
Yeah.
then you go over there and they're not there.
Right. I mean, imagine you're in a dark room with a very narrow beam flashlight trying to scan it around and see little bubbles coming up, right?
Yeah.
It'd be hard to get a good sense of where they're. Oh, there's one, and then oh.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the easiest way to find
great
them is to look
metaphor.
down with a sonar and fly higher off the bottom, because the bubbles kind of, they're coming up to the water column,
Uh-huh.
so you can catch them all the way up, So you'll
Alright.
see a line of bubbles coming off the bottom.
All right, step over, I think.
Oh, this was a good one. The self-sampling crab. That was definitely a highlight, I think.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah, we were all watching it in the lounge. I was not on watch. I think that was 12 to 4. And the crab was kind of swimming around Herc, and then the bio box was open, and then all of a sudden he jumped in, and everyone in the lounge like jumped out of the couch, and it was like watching a slam
Yeah,
dunk
go
in a
for it.
basketball game. Another favorite was just in general all of the corals and crinoids and anemones. Some of those seascapes were just incredible, right? They went on forever. It was like being in an underwater forest. So beautiful. And there were big ones too. All different colors and shapes and sizes. Yeah, I'm curious. Oh, this one was really cool. Our watch saw this yesterday, that white sponge that had the harp shape ctenophores, harped shape ctenophores, and you had that great visual on it, Ed, with all the filaments kind of going
yeah.
out and
Yeah,
feeding.
I actually do remember that.
Yeah, that one was incredible. That was beautiful.
My memory banks for remembering stuff underwater are full. There's no room for anything new.
You're just creating new neural connections all the time.
There's the veining.
Yeah, we've had, now looking back on these recaps that you all are sending, and it's a good memory jog. We've seen some pretty amazing things in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, there's a pagoda to the very left of the image. Herc image, faintly.
Oh.
Oh, are we going to come up short here? Is that?
I think.
Are you going to go for it?
I think you can stop here.
Stop in here?
Yeah, because I got a bunch of them. I got a bunch of the smaller ones, the the chimneys in the cameras, and we don't have to sort of daredevil over those other ones. So.
Daredeviling.
Okay.
You gonna stop the survey?
No, we're just stopping short. Yeah, 1.25 port. Because we're starting to see that chimney field here. There's no reason, we don't have to go trying to weave in and out of those 3-meter high things just to risk whacking something. It'll speed us up a little bit and it'll...
You ready?
Yep, go.
Going.
So there's the pagodas over there. I'm getting close, and after the pagodas we're done, basically. Because we've got the iron vents behind us.
We're done with this thing, with the survey.
Yeah, exactly, right. Then you got to go trick-or-treating around, get the samples, which shouldn't take too long, because it's a pretty small area. And then we're out of Dodge. Actually, we're back on the deck. Then the ASV will go in the water for an hour or two this afternoon for some tests, and then we're out of Dodge.
Did we know about this East Rim dive site before our previous dive here?
No. So we came over. We did some. Actually, it goes back to bubbles. So we did some survey passes with the shipboard system over top of here. And it was funny because we did it in kind of rough weather the first time we went by. We didn't see any bubble plumes. And then the second time we went over it, it was much calmer, and we saw 2 bubble plumes, where the Okeanos had only seen 1. And so this is the second plume that had not been known about. And so Rennie was the one who sort of combed through the data and then figured out, based on the sonar data, where it came from, and then we popped down and bang, we were here. So we used the shipboard sonar to look for bubbles in the water column, and that's how we traced it back to the seafloor.
So the Okeanos saw 1 bubble plume here when it was here in 2017?
Yeah. So that, I mean, this could have 2 options. Either A, this wasn't even here in 2017, which is conceivable, or B, they didn't catch that plume on their sonar because...
So we want to stop here?
Yeah, I think we can keep this end going. This end's fine.
You want to... Well, but we're going 25 meters from where we...
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? The lines are going to be longer here. I don't know if you care.
So what do we do? I'd say go another 2 meters, and then we'll stop it. So we'll get a... Okay. So that way we can capture some of this stuff up here.
Say when.
And when you're saying those 2 bubble plumes that were picked up in the sonar, those are just those 2 hydrothermal vents, that main one and the second one.
We're almost to the end
Yeah,
of 25 meters. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just because the cameras are in the back of the vehicle, so I was waiting to get a couple of these chimneys and pretty much took the whole 25 to get it. So for now, I guess we'll stick with that.
Okay.
So yeah, 1 1/4 over. As soon as you're done, go back. Shouldn't take too many more lines to get the... I'm sorry, Matt, I missed your last question. I was distracted.
Oh yeah, no worries. I was saying the 2 bubble plumes that we picked up on that passover with the ship sonar, those are just those 2 vents that we've been looking at, right? That main one and the second one?
Yeah, this is the second one, and then the main one was the one we first dove on.
Okay.
Which wasn't as nearly as vigorous as this one. This one was much stronger.
Right.
But yeah, finding the bubbles in the water column sonar data is a sort of a boon to being able to find things on the seafloor, because all of a sudden you have a way of tracing it back and just going there as opposed to stumbling around and hoping you come across something. Because as you can tell, right, it's cloudy down here. You could wander around down here for a long time and be 10 meters from something and never know it. So the being able to trace back with the sonar shipboard data back right to a location is super helpful. Right now we're getting the
Another
spider
eel.
cracks in the camera. These things are hard to image. Crazy white bacteria you don't want to blow out against very matte, dark mud.
So those white cracks are the bacteria, and then
Yeah.
the sort of rusty is the sulfur around it?
The rusty is sort of
Iron.
iron-rich stuff, and
Okay.
the white would be the sulfur-rich stuff, the
Oh.
sulfur-based bacteria. Oh, this whole thing just looks a little shimmery, or just my eyes? Oh, there's a pagoda. And so the pagodas, we want to look
Under the flange.
under the flanges if we can. They're going to be pretty low, so I don't think we're going to be able to, they're not that tall. I don't
That
think we're going to
mirror
be able to
thing,
actually
right?
look. We might have to
Need a mirror.
do a mirror. Yeah, did you put a mirror on the vehicle? I don't know, we have to do the karate chop. Pick one up and see if a bunch of fluid comes out. It is pretty neat. You get this inverted mirror pool thing.
That's cool.
Lost City in the mid-Atlantic. Yeah, it's pretty cool. 'Cause you look underneath and you see this. Like,
And
you know, looks
what's
like
that called?
we get hot water that goes up and gets trapped underneath this
Okay.
flange, and then
Balan.
you basically get this sort of lens of hot water, and you see the interaction. It looks like a mirror pool. Looks like mercury, like
Oh,
you know,
that's
super
cool.
shiny.
And does it have a name though? That mirror thing?
I don't know if there's actually a technical, but everybody just calls it, like, you know, it's a flange or just
Flange.
capping water. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
But that's,
Balange.
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 but people are keen on that. Yeah, go ahead, shimmy over.
Shimmy, shimmy.
People are keen on that, especially the extremophile microbiology people, to get some of that
I bet Becker
flange
is.
water to see if there's
Yeah.
any
But Becca's having a
bacteria
field day
can
down there.
Oh my
actually-
gosh.
that can actually live in that stuff. And so there are special samplers that people have built you can stick up there,
Oh,
but it's like a little tube nozzle. And
okay. But we don't have one here
we
with
don't
us,
have
but
one here, no.
that's something that would come back.
No, there's two people, two different labs generally have
Jumping ahead.
built those things. Yeah, go
Oh.
for it, Bob. A guy named Jeff Seawald at Hui, and then a guy named Marv Lilly at UW, and they've developed samplers that can suck
Wow.
in that hot fluid, and then they actually retain the pressure. They keep the
Oh.
fluid at pressure, and
So
when
otherwise
it comes to the surface.
gases out.
You talk about
Otherwise,
the
it goes
gas
like a
tights?
soda bottle. Yeah. So if you want to actually get proper measurements of gas concentration in a
That's the way to
relative
do
sense,
it.
you have to capture the gas and not let it go, because a Niskin sample, you can grab the water and then you don't have any guarantee that on the way up it didn't burp, like it didn't fizz
Right.
out like a soda bottle and just like pop the top, right? And so
Okay.
then if you try and measure gas concentration, you're not accurate anymore because you've lost some. But in
Okay.
a gas tight sample, it's all squeezed, it's at pressure, and then you have what's called an extraction rig, where you, like Jeff samplers, you can attach a bag to it, you can squirt the water out of it, and then if it goes into the bag, the gas will expand, but you've got it captured, so you still
Okay.
have the proper ratio of gas to water. Marv Lilly samples, you don't squirt out, but you open them up into a vacuum chamber,
Oh.
and then the vacuum sucks everything out of it, gas and fluid. They're pretty specialized things, and then Jeff's have a temperature probe on the end of it, so you kind of poke around, and then you get a little real-time display of temperature
Okay.
as you're doing it.
Oh.
And then you hit go, and it opens a tiny valve, and it
Okay.
sucks the fluid in.
Ones I've done, well, some of them are automated, but you have to use the claw to spin it on some of the gas tights. to
Yeah,
help
some have a tom
trigger
thumb.
a mechanism.
Yeah, some have spin, some have a tom thumb that push and it goes. It's
Haven't seen Marv in several years.
He's retired.
yeah, he must be retired now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's carried on those samplers. There's a bunch of crabby guys over there.
Are they all crabs?
Yeah.
Look how many there are.
Wow. They're so cute.
Wow.
Are they white?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some shimmering in
So
that part.
You have to look at those guys. We picked up one. Were they all?
We picked up one, but we can.
Was it a
But were
white,
they,
the white one, or
It was
the
one
orange?
of the white ones.
Okay.
But it wasn't cilia, but it wasn't like a Yeti crab. It didn't have fuzzy stuff all over
No.
it. Yeah. Right.
Small.
Yeah.
Another eel. What's the temperature here? Is it a little bit
6.
6? Is it cooler than?
Same as in the van.
It's a little warmer than ambient, but
You're not kidding. Woo.
Yeah, it's 5.8.
I think that's that same eel.
all right.
Just following us.
Yep. Go for the step whenever. And maybe our next line north. We can shave off a few meters. This doesn't seem like it's super interesting out here. I'm getting enough of them. Well,
So you just say that there's a bunch
yeah, I
of
know.
stuff. Backing up.
All right, backing up. Back it up.
So
back
Chris,
it up,
on your
back it up.
cameras, you're underexposing by a couple stops, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
of the bacteria. So
So you don't get blown out.
with the 12-bit cameras, you can get a lot of that back.
Right.
But
Because you have high dynamic range.
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, you always feel like you're taking pictures that are too dark, but as soon as you turn it up, you get burned by.
Yeah.
You can always bring it up. You can't do anything when it's over.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Once, yeah, once you
That's the
blow
problem.
something out.
You're hosed. Yeah. Yeah, don't hit the goalposts. That's the problem. Okay.
Who is the guy doing most of the talking? I think they're talking about you, Chris.
Oh,
Who
okay.
are you?
Oh, shut up then. Who am I?
Who are you?
Who are you?
No, I'm a faculty member at the University of Rhode Island Graduate School of Oceanography, and so I'm a mostly engineer is my background, but I do a lot of marine science. So I live on the fence halfway between marine science and engineering. So most of my background is building tools and gizmos and vehicles and camera systems and stuff like that. But all the projects I do are in collaboration with true card-carrying oceanographers. So I've sort of absorbed a lot of things over the years, and I understand the basics of what we're interested in, but I'm not a vent chemist, but I know what vent chemists are after, so to speak. So I know enough about what they're interested in that I can help.
Is that sweet spot to know enough where people go, oh, that's interesting, but not so much that people go, I have some question about that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite ice cream flavor, Chris?
My favorite ice cream flavor? That coconut ice cream was pretty
Oh, yeah, that was good.
I didn't have any. I'm so
station.
disappointed.
Gas
Yeah,
station.
shout out to
Get some Chunky
Salmi's.
Monkey.
A lot of hot water there.
Yeah, that's pretty. Oh, here we go, Pagodaville.
Hey.
Pagodaville.
Wasting away again.
I'm spoiled. I live a block and a half from a really good ice cream parlor.
Oh,
And so
that would be so dangerous.
especially because we have to walk right past it to walk my kids to
man.
school.
Oh.
It's like running,
Right.
running the
no.
gauntlet. A nice summer afternoon. It's like a trail of tears, and you have to go by.
Are they your tears or?
The kids.
My first apartment in San Francisco was directly over Smitten Ice Cream, which if you've ever been, they make their own waffle cones.
Oh, gosh.
And so, yeah, my alarm would go off and waffle cone aroma would just sort
Oh
of
my
waft in
goodness.
underneath my window. That was dangerous.
There's a lot of-
Dangerously
a lot
delicious.
of hot water.
There's a
here.
really good ice cream place in Eugene, Oregon, too.
I think waffle cones are the best transport of ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
The vesicle.
Yeah.
I still say when I'm uber rich, I'm going to have a butler who goes and gets 200 cases of drumsticks,
Oh.
and he's going to cut the last half inch off of each of the cones and just serve that in a bowl.
That is so
Dream big, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So indulgent.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Very specific.
Yep.
I don't care what happens to the rest
You've
of
had a lot of time on this ship to think about that.
it. Yeah. Well, now that I know that there's not going to be a Sunday.
Oh, there'll be a Sunday.
We'll at least get like an hour of a
And
Sunday,
then
right?
we're busy, busy, busy tomorrow.
Never too busy for an ice cream cone. It's the little things.
All right, go for it.
Speaking of dreaming big, if you could choose any dive in any part of the world's oceans, where would it be?
ROV or scuba?
Let's stick with ROV just because that's where we are
Huh.
or what we're doing.
I'd still do the same place.
This place right here?
No, not this place.
Yeah.
The same place I'd scuba dive
Oh,
is
yeah.
I'd do the ROV.
Oh yeah, that's a fair
That's
point.
Palau.
Where's
Oh.
Palau?
Micronesia.
Yeah.
Ooh, have you done it before?
Yeah.
So
Not
you
an
do it-
ROV.
You'd do it again.
Yeah.
It was that good?
Yeah. That's the best.
Did you do Jellyfish Lake?
I did do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to take an ROV to Cook's Bay in Hawaii.
Why is that?
Because you know this is coming. When Captain Cook was killed there and they got back some of his body, it was put into a chest,
Oh.
weighed down with shot and chain, and committed to the deep there. And it would be interesting to go. I mean, obviously the chest and everything's gone, but you would probably find a large iron deposit
Yeah.
somewhere.
Oh, that's interesting.
That'd put a little bow on that pursuit of mine. I think I've, with the exception of his favorite harbor in New Zealand, I think I've been just about everywhere else.
Sounds like you have a proposal to start working on.
Yeah. Maybe
We-
Bob's listening.
we were there, I think it was last year, just hiding from a hurricane. And we were making, I was making great strides in that regard till they looked it up on a chart and saw that it wasn't just open, unprotected water. And I was like, nope, not diving.
Not doing it. I think I would want to go off of Baranof Island in Southeast Alaska. Because I grew up fishing it my entire life.
And you want to know what it looks like down there.
Yeah, and I want to know what the heck. There's this saying, right, in Southeast Alaska that fishermen never go swimming because they see what comes out of the water. And I'd like to actually see maybe what's really down there and what it looks like.
But we're doing that now.
What's that?
He's doing it now, just
Yeah.
not off in Alaskan
Yeah.
waters.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. There's some
As a matter
weird
of fact,
things.
if you come down to the vessel when we're in port in San Francisco, Erwin Rainey, my video engineer, will be on board, who's also a captain of our own Alaska fishing operation up by Bristol Bay.
Cool.
Yeah.
I bet they would want to see what they're fishing in too.
And she was just up shooting grizzlies for like 6 weeks for, I think, BBC.
Up in Kenai?
No, she wasn't at Katmai Falls. She was somewhere else.
Shooting with a camera.
Camera, sorry.
Grizzly bear hunting is very limited in
BBC's
Alaska.
definitely changed.
That,
do we want to
yeah.
move the ship a little west, Suleiman?
Yeah, we're getting yanked around a bit.
All right, control family. I'm a little sad to say this, but this is our last dive together.
Oh.
Oh. Well, you're not
I
included.
know.
You don't even go
I just
here.
want to, I just want to be loved.
The only person who's not on the 8 to 12 one.
It has been so
Interloper.
much fun. I have a
Go
newfound
for it, Bobby.
passion.
Maybe we should get a team picture after the.
We'll black you out.
I don't know what you're thinking, like lunch is about to happen. There are no time for team photos.
I love you, 428.
But I'm out. I found someone else.
All right, well, we've got 12 to 4 trickling in here, so thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and being a part of it.
We only have
It's
about
been
5 more lines, maybe. And we
really,
should be
really
good to
fun.
go, so.
It's been great, everyone. There's been some highs, been some lows.
We made it through everything together.
We have stuck through it.
We're still here.
That's
I feel like
Georgia
we've
speaking.
connected. This-
You're really taking a big role back there.
yeah.
She's speaking for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I'm a central component now. At the beginning when I sat down, I said, I'm just going to sit here, Chris, but I'll stay quiet.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris.
Likely story. Likely story. Well, cool. Well, I will definitely be watching from the lounge, though, without a doubt.
Oh,
Heck yeah.
Bob's got some Pringles over there.
Yeah, I got the whole lowdown on how I was severely lacking in my snack game. I didn't bring cookies. I didn't bring chips. No pop.
Just one, this here. This little pile, yeah. So Bob, when you swap out with Scott, get it going on the line and then do the swap so we don't have a big dead spot.